Greetings, fellow Ambazonians. This is Capo Daniel, una own countryman, the spokesman of Ambazonian Liberation War. I come for una today for address two things. It be very important. One, the presentation I make yesterday regarding the visit for Bamenda of the representative of Pobia, a so-called Presidential Committee for Reconstruction, where he come for Bamenda. He be represented by their chairman, we named na Belungeli Confiance. I be talk say na Bulu Betiman, but I be wrong. Na a man from Dian State. He come up for the same village with Ndiongute. So, but the point remained the same. You cannot have a so-called prime minister who runs a government and is the head of a government. But the person who runs his office is appointed by the so-called head of state. So he is officially the director of the cabinet of the prime minister. But he's appointed by presidential decree. And you can see this information in the website of the Cameroon government. So he takes his order from the person who appoints him, Pobia, and he represents Pobia. This shows that Diongote do not even have control of his own office, let alone being a representative of Ambazonia in that country. Like they say, it is supposed to be an Anglophone or an Ambazonian who is the prime minister. That position is useless. It has no power. It has no authority. And this visit have shown that Diongote is just on paper. And fellow Ambazonians, the most important thing about this visit, I also put out the image of Madame Gladys, who was the person who spoke in the Baptist school. And I know her personally as a student and as a member of the Baptist church. The husband of Madame Gladys is Reverend Shadrach. I want to advise all Ambazonians not to arrest her and not to arrest anybody in those schools that the Cameroon government paraded in that visit. This is the reason why. I have now been contacted by the Baptist Convention and they have explained to me what happened. Just like we explained to our people, all those projects were applied by the Baptist Church and all the other mission churches that applied for, including some communities. The applications were made to the UNDP, not to the Cameroon government. The understanding of the Baptist Convention was that this is a UNDP project sponsored by the UNDP. I have had personal meeting that lasted for 4 hours with the head of the UNDP in Cameroon and many of their workers who have explained and campaigned that this so-called, they don't call it reconstruction, but there are projects that are meant to alleviate the humanitarian crisis during war. And these are practices that are going on in many other countries, not just Ambazonia, even in Afghanistan and in Syria. The UNDP are carrying out projects that alleviate humanitarian crisis. And many Ambazonian factions have accepted the projects of the UNDP, including Siseko's IG. So I know very well that these projects are sponsored and are UNDP projects, not Cameroon projects. So Pobia is scammer, and Cameroon government, a government that is responsible for the destruction of our country, our facilities, and our infrastructure, is seeking to gain politically by projecting itself and renaming a UNDP project as a reconstruction project and even creating a committee for that purpose. It is pure propaganda. Like I have proven to you people, those schools were not constructed by the UNDP, neither was it constructed by Cameroon. The Baptist school was constructed from Baptist donations and has nothing to do with the UNDP. The UNDP had sponsored the provision of desks and computers to that school. They did not construct any building in that school. The other side where the Cameroon, when Mr. Confiance visited, as I have shown you from the website of the council, Bamenda 3, those water catchment tanks were built in 2007. So the Cameroon government is not constructing or reconstructing in Ambazonia. They are seeking to gain from projects being sponsored by partners of the UNDP and claiming that these are Cameroon government projects when they are not. So I am advising Ambazonians not to arrest those people who were involved. The Baptist Church have told me that Actually, the teachers refused to stand with Cameroon flag, and the children were forced, and we have had evidence from the parents of those students that their students were forced to carry Cameroon flag. This is a wrong thing. The Cameroon government has failed. Our people have rejected them, and they seek to gain legitimacy by using propaganda and hiding behind the UNDP. And we are also warning the UNDP that they should not allow their projects to be used for political gains by the Cameroon that seeks to force itself on our people by the means of war. The UNDP must speak out, otherwise many UNDP projects that are being financed by the international partners will be stopped in Ambazonia for this same reason. The other thing I want also to point out to our people is the constant blackmail and attack against my person, the person of Dr. Cho Ayaba, and General Efang, the Supreme Commander of the ADF. There are people who have been consistently editing my old videos and using some videos where I made mistakes to mischaracterize me and to misrepresent me, with the hope that they will mislead our people and deceive them about my position and the position of Dr. Cho Ayaba and the position of General Efang. So I want to tell our people that there is a video out there that I made when General Efang was captured by General Chacha. In that video, I was instructing our people to block Bui and make sure that General Efang will not be captured by the Cameroon military, who may seek to take advantage of that situation of infighting. In that video, which is an audio, I misspoke, and instead of saying that our people should protect the ADF, I said that our people should protect the Cameroon military. That was a slip of the tongue, and it was a mistake. For anybody who knows my intention of making that audio and have listened to the entire audio, to select that particular mistake and to misrepresent me is a sign of dishonesty, lack of noble and honorable character from this individual. There are also who seek to mischaracterize the presentation which I did to congratulate Paul Biya for committing to a negotiation in Canada. The reason why I congratulated Paul Biya was because I know the content of the commitment of Cameroon, and I know that we had hit our target and we could have our objective of independence within the framework of the Canadian negotiation. The fact that they have to force us to come and make this type of statements also betrays to the enemy the thinking of our leadership and the delegates that were present in the pre-talks in Canada. So these are not people who are trying to help Ambazonia, but they are trying to force Ambazonia to reveal things that we're not supposed to reveal, and also to undermine our position. Ambazonians should be reminded that it is the Cameroon government and their propagandists and military attachés, such as Kunyam Titus, who have been trying to mischaracterize us by creating fake Facebook pages. There is a fake Facebook page out there created by the Cameroon government to mischaracterize my person, and they have done so to other Ambazonian activists in order to dissuade our people from resisting Cameroon. So those people who are mischaracterizing us, misrepresenting us, are also doing a favor for them. They are also helping and enabling Cameroon attack against Ambazonia. They are not helping Ambazonia. The Cameroon government knows that I am a very effective communicator, and I rally our people to fight against them and to sustain the resistance. They know that me, Dr. Cho Ayaba, General Efang, we are the key for a sustainable and effective liberation of Ambazonia. So they seek to mischaracterize us so that they can reduce our effectiveness. Those people who use lies and made-up stories to do the same are only helping Cameroon to attain its objective. And they have also exposed who they are. Remember that the people who are doing this thing, such as the Bomb Blanc who goes with the name PK, have sent out messages on WhatsApp that seeks to stop the ghost town. He has come against ghost town. He has come out against school boycott, and we know that the only school boycott today is the Cameroon government school boycott. So these are people who want to stop the ghost town. These are people who want to stop the resistance. This guy also have actually come out to ask our people not to pay the price for freedom by attacking the liberation tax and characterizing our people not to save their money instead of supporting the struggle, but to save their money. So their objective is clear, is to end the resistance. And they know that I stand on their way to stop the ghost town. I stand on their way to allow Cameroon government school to resume. I stand on their way to make sure that Cameroon do not make things to return back to normalcy under Cameroon control. This is why they come after me. These people know that they cannot come to the Ambazonian people and ask them to stop the ghost town. They cannot come to the Ambazonian people and ask them to go to Cameroon government school, because they know that if they do that, the Ambazonian people will know that they are traitors. They are people who are compromised. They are not people who stand for independence. So the only way they can do this is to attack Capo Daniel, General Efang Anayabacho, to deceive our people that we are working for La Republique, because they know that we are the main people that sustain the liberation and the resistance. So they try to mischaracterize us, try to misrepresent our positions in order to deceive our people and weaken their resistance. The fact of the matter is that I am the primary person that sustained our ghost town and the public resistance by putting out information on a daily basis that sustain the resistance and the popular mindset of resistance against Cameroon government. So they know that. And the only way they can stop me, the only way they can stop the ghost town is to stop me. The only way they can stop the armed resistance is to stop me and Dr. Cho Ayaba. And the only way they can stop a sustainable way of Ambazonian to resist is to stop the institutions like the AGOFC and the ADF that are well organized and that are capable of sustaining the armed resistance for a long period. So they hate the ADF because it is sustainable. It has proper capacity to sustain itself. And the fact that the ADF is built in a way that even if you have to kill a general in the ADF, the general will be able to be replaced effectively. So they see the ADF as a hope for Ambazonia. And so to destroy that hope, they discredit the ADF and mischaracterize the ADF and spread disinformation about the ADF and those personality that reinforces the ADF. So our people should wise up. They should know these people for who they are. I am your vanguard, and the role I play and the role Dr. Cho Ayaba play. So do not follow these people who use lies and mischaracterization and misinformation to give a misrepresentation about my position or the position of other Ambazonian patriots. These are people who cannot campaign for their position, which is that of compromise, which is that of abandoning the resistance, both the armed resistance and the collective resistance against Cameroon occupation and against Cameroon subjugation of Ambazonia. These are people who support one Cameroon and only came into this liberation struggle not as nationalists, but as people who saw the popular uprising as a means for them to seek concession within the framework of one Cameroon. These are not people who stand for the independence of Ambazonia, because if they stand for the independence of Ambazonia, they will support the ghost town every Monday. They will support the boycott of Cameroon government schools. So this is self-evidence. So be mindful of these people who come into you pretending to be Ambazonians, sometimes even carry Ambazonian flags. They are not patriots. They are not honorable. They don't have credibility. Do not pay attention to them. Sometimes they may sound entertaining. Sometimes they may seek to get relevance and get a foothold to our people by saying some things that are nice. But at the end of the day, their policy is to stop the resistance and to make concessions with Cameroon. If they stand for independence, they will support Ghost Town. If they stand for independence, they will support the liberation tax and they will support our forces to fight against Cameroon. Every day, I spend my time to encourage our people to resist. Every day, I spend my time to raise money and support people to fight against the Cameroon army. I also make videos to give tips to our soldiers on how best to attack Cameroon army. So I am definitely against Cameroon, and I have a clear track record with over 3 years of every single day podcast to help our people and enable them to fight against Cameroon. Anybody who comes and tell you anything other than this is a liar and is somebody who have been compromised and is somebody who do not seek any good for you or our people. Some say these are people who just look for social media relevance to get likes and get more views. I disagree with them, because the stakes are too high for anybody to come into this struggle just for relevance or for fame or for social media likes. The stakes are too high. You don't play with the life of our people. I, as somebody who have recruited soldiers, who have armed soldiers, who have campaigned for major factions, who have pushed for Ambazonia, I know how difficult it is. I know the stake. After doing my job to talk to our people whose houses have been burned, people who are victims of Cameroon brutal war, I can tell you for sure, this is not a child's game. It is a serious matter. We are fighting for the interest of our public, of the interest of the people of Ambazonia, and we are patriots. And I call on all Ambazonians to stop entertaining these people. They are no good. For over 5 years, if none of them were courageous enough to stand and speak for Ambazonia, if none of them were courageous or smart or competent enough to choose the right policies for our liberation movement, it is not today that they are going to be competent or they are going to rise up to the occasion. We are the only ones you've got. We are the most effective ones you've got. No other person will come from heaven. No other force will come again. The way we have chosen for our people, the way we lead them, the way we have successfully project an image that is consistent with our nationalism and that have attracted international interest to our struggle, protecting our people from the bad effects of some excesses while advocating and projecting Ambazonian strength and campaigning for our independence has brought us this far. Those who seek to undermine us, those who seek to bring us down, are seeking to eliminate the only obstacle that they have to make concessions, not for the public interest, but for their own personal interest. Those of us who have put our skin on the line, have risked our life and risked our own family, put our livelihood at risk. Some of us have lost our legal status. Some of us have been wanted. The Cameroon government have sent letters to get us repatriated for them to persecute us. Who are in the front line leading this struggle are the patriots you must listen to. We are the people you must follow our lead. Why? Because we have risked it all for you. We think you are worthy. These people cannot even call a gun, let alone call for attacks against the Cameroon government. But yet, they seek to undermine us. You must know this truth, and you must stand with us as we lead you and lead our nation for freedom. All Ambazonian forces, you must associate yourself with the political leadership that brings accountability and that brings regulation in order for us to be effective internationally with our diplomacy. It is a must. You have no choice. You have no leader other than Dr. Cho Ayaba. You have no activist other than me, Capo Daniel, Lucas Asu. There are many others, but all of us are not equal. We are different in effectiveness. We are different in putting our skin. We are different in taking the lead. We are all different. We are not all the same. This is just how it is. And I can assure you, my people, that there are no alternative to Dr. Cho Ayaba. There are no alternative to Capo Daniel. We are not replaceable. In the life of a people, in the life of a nation, only once in a history do you have a chance to free yourself and to have something for the public interest. Only once. And now is your time. We are the chosen people. We are the chosen generation. Are you going to follow the prophets, or you are going to follow and listen to those who caused the Hebrew people to be buried alive and prolong their journey, a journey that was supposed to be taken for 40 days, they end up using 40 years. If you follow your Moses, if you follow your Joshua, surely we shall arrive in Boya sooner than you expect. God bless you all.